Well, all eyes on Apple's annual event. It's an event to celebrate on its own in terms of what Apple presents every single year. So come 10:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time tonight, we will know what Apple has in store for us. What will the new iPhone look like? Will we have some announcement in terms of an iPhone, in terms of an Apple Watch, the new AirPods? Will we see some sort of updates on an iOS is also concerned? And more importantly, for us in India, what will the pricing be? To talk about all this and a lot more, I have a very special guest with me. Rian George is joining us. He's somebody who follows the brand very, very closely. He's also tracked a lot of Apple events in the past. Rian, before we get talking into the specifics of what we can expect, how are you? Thank you for taking our time and joining us. And how excited are you?
I am super excited at 10:30. As in the last so many years, I'm going to be glued to my television. And last year, in fact, fun fact, I was actually at Cupertino for the Apple event. So all those memories are coming back to me. I'm really excited for 10:30. And yeah, I'm going to have like a major geek moment there.
Yeah, Rian, before I get into the specifics, why the Apple event every single year becomes even more, either tracked or watched is because how Apple treats its launches. It teases the invite a few weeks ago. There's a lot of buzz around it. The, experience of the Apple event itself becomes a big event as far as the tech world is concerned. Would you agree?
I would definitely agree. And most importantly, I think that they've somehow managed in their marketing to make it so personal. So someone sitting in India, someone sitting in Australia can actually feel that they're part of the Apple event in Cupertino. So, I mean, I went there last year, but the year before I actually felt I was there because you're watching the live stream and, these invites come into your email address. So they really make it very personal and not just another press conference, which is taking place, which is why I guess it has attained this September event. It's now actually a term that is coined. The September event has become such a cult.
Okay, so Rian, now tell me, of course, there are many rumor mills doing the rounds, multiple reports on what we can expect. As usual, Apple keeps its cards close to its chest. So tell me, what are you hearing? What can we expect?
I would definitely like to comment on two things. That's the iPhone 15. Okay, the different variants of the iPhone 15. I'm really looking forward to the Pro variants. And of course, we've got an Apple Watch Series 9. I'm also hearing that there's going to be an Ultra 2. We loved the Ultra that launched last year. I can't wait to see what they're going to do with the Ultra 2. Rumors saying 49 mm. Let's see what they say.
Okay. The iPhone itself undoubtedly becomes the centerpiece of every launch or unveil as far as the Apple is concerned. And every single year, the same concerns that are being raised, at least as far as the Indian market is concerned, in terms of its pricing. But just as far as the dimensions are concerned, multiple reports suggesting one, as you pointed out, the second is it could possibly be much lighter, which has been one of the criticisms against Apple. How much of it do you think is doable as far as this launch is concerned?
I think we definitely might see some improvements in terms of like in terms of size and weight. There will definitely be some sort of change. Rumor has it there's going to be thinner bezels. There's going to be improved screen space. So let's just wait and see whether our speculation is true or not.
And the other thing that I want to talk to you, Rian, which of course again has been debated for almost years, is now is it time for all makers to go towards that universal charging cable? Now, of course, the idea is with each brand, they wanted to price it in a way that it becomes very specific or niche to their own brand. But do you think it's now time to do away with that if you want more acceptance as far as customers are concerned?
I definitely would say so. I definitely would say so in this day and age where we are trying to simplify things,
Yeah.
having different chargers and different wires and all. I mean, just to put it as simply as that, just complicates life. So I think that if we are to see a Type C USB on the iPhone today, it's going to be a great positive move. I'm very happy, and yeah, let's see what that happens. I think it's going to happen.
Okay, we'll have to see. So we'll chat with Rian post the launch also, okay, to see how much of what he's predicting or anticipating has come true. But I also want to understand what are you hearing in terms of not just the iPhone, but the Apple Watch and the AirPods as well. Because as I said, yes, the iPhone does become the centerpiece, but all the other accessories of Apple also have their very targeted and niche market. So what are you hearing on what we could expect on those lines as well?
I think while the Apple Watch Series 8, which is what I have right now, is a great performer, I think definitely the concern that most people have is the battery life. So I
Hmm.
certainly hope that, with the Series 9, there is definitely a huge improvement on battery life. As usual, there'll be constant updates to like fitness, health, safety, security, which Apple is known to bring to its Apple Watches. But like personally, I would definitely like to see an improvement on battery life here.
Yeah, just taking on from what you're saying, because you're making a very interesting point. Another criticism against Apple, other than the weight of the iPhone, has been possibly the low battery life as well. And just in terms of the money that you're shelling out, many customers possibly feel that it's just not worth it. If I'm putting in a particular amount of money, say to the tune of 1 lakh or even above for certain phones, I'm not possibly getting that kind of customer service in the product that I'm getting. Do you think that's a fair criticism that continues to haunt a lot of Apple products?
It see definitely is a criticism that continues to haunt the Apple products, but I say that they have a loyal fan base because of the retail experience and of course the user interface. The iOS user interface is unmatched. So you're literally buying. I mean, sometimes a customer. I will definitely admit that the battery life is maybe not the best, but there are certain discounts that one makes when you're part of a larger Apple culture. Like I
Mm.
mean, so if you want that kind of the iPhone experience, which I don't see as comparable to other brands, but that's my personal opinion. I
Sure.
think you can't have it all. So I think there are definitely that is a concern, but people out have been willing to overlook it in most cases.
Mm.
The other plus points balance it out. I mean,
So
in
when
terms of the phone stability, user interface, camera, ease of use, everything.
interesting that you're saying possibly customers can't have it all, but if you look at the Indian market and just if you look at the smartphone market, the kind of options that are available and the price bracket that has been breached by a lot of makers, do you still think Apple continues to have that kind of dominance, or do you think it's possibly on thin ice now?
Oh, that's a very good question. Honestly, I think that people who are spending larger sum, big ticket purchases for their iPhones will definitely be spending their money on an iPhone versus an expensive phone of another brand. Let's just put it that way. So I think in the premium segment, they are definitely still reigning supreme.
Okay. Rian, last couple of questions. I also want to understand, just going back from where we had started, which was the Apple event experience itself. And for a lot of Indian customers, they got that feel when the Apple store had its launch here in India. So since you were there last year, just talk to us about what is the kind of buzz on the ground. What does Apple do right that events like these continue to become a cult with each passing year?
I think, as you said earlier, they keep their cards very close to their chest, so you don't really know what's being revealed. So there's that element of success. Sorry, there's that element of suspense.
Hmm.
And in terms of the event, I think just the way they organize it, and then you're in this space that is designed like the Steve Jobs Theater is designed like a masterpiece. It's a design and
Hmm.
art and engineering masterpiece. So you're there, and then I mean, you're among the lucky few. It's like literally being on the red carpet at the Oscars. So you are selected to be there. You're privileged enough to be there.
Yeah.
And then there's this real feeling because when they open the gates to the theater to enter the event, there's like these hordes of 1,000 people
Hmm.
walking through with their cameras and everything. So it elicits the same reaction of awe from everyone, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, and then, of course, sitting in that theater and watching Steve Jobs make his announcements and the other members of the Apple team make their announcement and reveal this product,
Hmm.
knowing that there are millions of people across the globe watching this
Hmm.
live, it's quite feeling.
Yeah, but usually it's like a pre-recorded message, and I think this time around also it's possibly going to be that pre-recorded message that we see from the CEO. Riyad, lastly, what I want to understand is, according to you, what are the three things that Apple needs to get right in terms of if it needs to breach the kind of sales numbers that it has seen in the past? Because there has been some sort of dip in the share, because as I said, it's a very aggressive smartphone market that we're talking about. So as we await the launch, which is now just a few hours away, what are the three things according to you that Apple needs to get right?
I would definitely say kind of introduce products, whether it is in terms of watches, headphones, laptops, or phones, or whatever, that can appeal to an average middle class Indian who would want to go and buy it or who might be able to afford certain products. I think that in terms of the Apple culture, whether it is music or Apple TV or whatever, do what maybe like what Netflix has done, Indianized it so much. And I see them, I see Apple Music having events with Indian musicians and artists and everything. So I think that's the right step in the direction to kind of have that Indian sensibility touched upon. Uh, Definitely, I would say increasing your retail footprint. I think that in other cities, there's definitely that aspirational element where people would love to step into an Apple store and purchase it and be part of that beautiful white and silver glass experience that one enjoys on Fifth Avenue in New York or
Yeah.
anywhere in London or anywhere. So that will definitely see more people coming in. But I would definitely say having certain products that are affordable and
Sure.
Indianizing the culture aspect.
Okay, Rian, we'll have to leave that conversation there. It's always a pleasure chatting with you, and I will take you up post the launch to see how much of what we discussed did we get it right.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it, and yeah, we'll discuss this later. Thanks a lot.
Okay, Rian, see you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.